the start of a new video. Specifically barding. Bardist. I'm a bard. Yeah. Anyway, let's start a new quest line. Oh my dear yo, how good of you to pay me a visit, and a timely one at that. Our friend Samson, with whom you journeyed, I met with him but recently, and it pleases me to say that his labors have finally borne fruit. His proposal for a unit incorporating bards has received formal approval. Even as we speak, he is rounding up members for the unit's inaugural mission. Now, during our conversation, Samson mentioned that he had a favor to ask of you. In case you haven't heard from him, mayhap you could seek him out first. You would like to find him at Quiver's Hold. Oh, that's too loud. I wasn't otherwise engaged, so I thought I would come along, go and see what it is Samson requires of you. Yo, it's good to see you. Our hard work has paid off, my friend. I've received permission to establish my bard unit. I didn't even recognize him. Moreover, we've already been assigned our first mission. I couldn't be more pleased, save for the one practical concern. Our new recruits yet lack the experience to embark on an honest-to-God's mission. In seeking to fill our ranks, I immediately thought of you, yo. You are an exemplary among bards, and I should be greatly heartened for your participation in our maiden outing. I've also taken the liberty of requesting Gildelad's transfer to the unit. With your combating experience and skill, we are bound to leave a splendid first impression. Now then, I will go to receive my orders from Commander Heliox. May I assume that you will join me? May I say that I too have a vested interest in young Samson's success. I should be personally grateful were you to lend him your aid, yo. Gotta be polite and not walk through people. If it isn't yo, by all accounts you were instrumental in the success of Captain Smith's previous expedition. We are glad for your cooperation. Now then, allow me to be brief you on the mission. Our order has received an anonymous letter, one that makes certain claims. We would have your unit verify the truth of it. There is a tome that holds a damning secret pertaining to the Autumn War. Should you desire it, send your most capable to 9 lives. I will be waiting. The war between Gridania and Alamigo, but that ended 100 years ago. I labor to imagine what secret could exist that should be so damn mean even now. Might this not be an ill-conceived prank, Commander? Our leadership believes it likely to be sure. But it's not a risk they are willing to take. Nay, not with the winds of public sentiment blowing as they are. You all know that our order is involved in the Alliance's relief efforts for the recently liberated Alamigo. Well, there are those among the citizenry that disapprove. A small but determined faction that refuses to forget the wrongs of a century past. They still view Alamigo as the enemy and ardently oppose our reaching out a hand of succor. Not potentially incidentally can be allowed to stoke the people's discontent, and we must move quickly. Your mission is to make contact with the letter sender and ascertain the nature of the secret. You call that a mission? A bloody errand, more like. Could be ours to handle it yourself, so you couldn't be asked to handle it yourself, so you've foisted on an eager new unit. And if the secret proves inconvenient for Gridania, what then? Will you sweep it under the rug, along with all our hard work? Gildila, mind your tongue. You are addressing a superior officer. Ah, so you are the famous Gildila. Worry not, my friend. Whatever the secret turns out to be, I give you my personal assurance that you and yours will receive due credit for its discovery. That's good enough for me. It's been forever since me and you last performed together, and I just want to enjoy the moment. No complicating factors, you know. The autumn war is an emotional subject for Gridanians. The older generation especially, and for us bards, it is also notable for the involvement of singing archers. In the course of your mission, I dare say there will be much to reflect upon, and many opportunities to grow. I wish the three of you the best of luck. Without further ado, let us make haste to 9 lives, before Gildila can exercise any more indiscretion. This is our man, you reckon? Unless I'm mistaken, this is our mysterious sender. Well met, friends. I'm Norval, a humble citizen of Gridania, and I see you received my letter. We've come as you bid, the tome if you would be so kind. But I never said that I had it, and to be clear, I do not. What? Then why did you summon us here? Patience, my friend, I will explain. You see, like many Redanians, I have an ancestor who fought in the Autumn War. 'Twas he who first learned of the tome in question after the fighting had ended. In turn, I learned of it from my parents, and since then, I've dreamed of poring over its pages. Alas, as it lies deep within Alamagan territory, I was resigned never to have the chance. But then the brave soldiers of the Alliance took Belsar's wall, and the way was made clear. When I heard the tidings, the flames of my boyhood passion were rekindled. Finally, I can fulfill my dream. Or so I told myself. Before I thought better of it, I'm no soldier, you see, and the prospect of wandering a war-ravaged land in search of a tome is frankly unrealistic. That's why I decided to reach out to your order for cooperation. Based on my parents' account, I'm confident that I can track down the tome, and I will help you find it. I ask only that you take me with you. So what say you? I'm but a commoner and know little of the ways of nations, but it seems to me secrets as the tome conceals could be harmful to diplomatic relations. Is this not so? So if we find the tome, we must agree to your company. Quite a demand to make of your nation. You got stones, that's for sure. I like it. Are you serious? A civilian is essentially holding us to ransom, and you praise him for his stones? Look at it this way. We didn't know the tome existed, nor have we the faintest idea where to look for it. Better to have help than to fumble about blind, I reckon. Come on, yo, back me up here. You sure has. You too? Yo, parents is truly important to a bard. Setting aside the talk of stones for a moment, I'll not deny that we would struggle without Norville's knowledge. Very well, we agree to your terms, and here is ours. You must obey our orders at all times. To the letter, sir. You shan't regret bringing me on. First, we will make for Castrum Oriens, presently held by the Order of the Twin Adder. Then we shall make way into the unknown. Nice mount. And here we are, all the easternmost reaches of the Twelveswood. The journey has scarcely begun, but already I'm keenly grateful for your company, yo. Soldiers from all nations, all in one place. A veritable goldmine of songs and stories if I've ever seen one. The armies of the four nations, united under one banner and one purpose, a sight to stir the spirit. Well, where to now? Pray do not be hasty, Master Sanson. Before we venture into the wilds of Garabania, we would do well to acquaint ourselves with the lay of the land. As a surfer captain, it should be a simple matter for you to secure permission for us to remain here, just long enough to get our bearings. I suppose it would be only prudent. Very well. I will request permission of command. And I'll get right to bonding with the locals. Always wanted to compare songs from the four nations, and the liquor besides. Master Gildelight is quite a character, isn't he? Aye, that he is. Pay him no mind. Now then, I will make my own inquiries. In the meantime, you are to lay low and refrain from bothering the garrison, understood? Yo, Gildelight and I shall tend to business here. Pray take your ease until we are ready to depart. $63, okay. Though I am but a humble civilian, I shall endeavor to make myself useful. I don't trust him, but I'm jaded, so anyway, I'll see you in a sec. I gotta grind to get to level 63. Who knows when that'll be, though. See you in the future. Okay, we are continuing the video much later than I anticipated, but it takes a long time to level off hunts in Stormblood territory. Either way, I got some better gear, and we're gonna continue. Let's get to it. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Norval might be an even bigger pain than Gildelight. Despite my express instructions to keep out of Garrison's way, what does he do but go and bother every single soldier about? And now everyone's here looks at us askance. I brought a tome to record mission details, but instead I'm filing it with the names of those to whom I must apologize. I'm sorry if I've caused trouble, but it's simply more efficient that I make the inquiries myself. What a man says amounts to only half the story. How he says it gives you the rest. Besides, I felt compelled to make up for Master Gildelight. All he seemed to be doing was drinking and signing. Well, appearances can be deceiving with him. He has his own way of acquiring information. Speaking of which, I am curious as to what he has learned. Yo, might I ask you to look around the cast room for him? I will keep a close eye on Norval in the meantime. You in here? Oh. No, you're fucking over here. Samson wants to know what I know, does he? Well, might be as I've learned a thing or two, but I ain't ready to share 'em yet. Still need to clear up some details, see? And I'm not one for unfinished tales. It ain't Bardley, as I'm sure you can appreciate. Seeing as you're here, though, there is something I could use a hand with. Of late, masked bandits have been terrorizing the area. Not even Alliance soldiers are safe, it seems. The brazen bastards stood on a patrol just the other day. And now, a twin outer scout late to return. And chances are the bandits are at it again. I want you to go and check things out. I'd go myself, but I need to keep an eye on our friend Norval. He's been acting queer since we got here. There'll be more to tell later, but for now, you best be on your way. The soldier was bound for a schism, the ruins to the northeast of here. Thank you. They fell upon me with nary a warning. They knew I was coming. We alter our patrol routes on a regular basis, but they knew. What's more, it was as though they were barring my way. But now is not the time for speculation. I must take word of this back to my superiors. My thanks again, friend. I ask you, how is a man supposed to go about his business when he is constantly watched? And I merely wish to be helpful. Goldilocks refuses to say a word until you return. I tell myself he has his reasons, but God's it's irritating. There you are, yo. So, what happened? Was it the bandits after all? Masked bandits in the area, and you had an encounter with them? Thank the matron you did not come to harm. Gildilot, why did you not see fit to share this with us? Well, I knew it was nothing Yo couldn't handle alone. Besides, I had some business of my own, someone to keep an eye on. I cannot imagine who that might be, Master Gildealot. I owe you an apology. I had assumed in error that you were not doing your work. Unorthodox though your methods may be, there is no doubting their efficiency. Ain't no trick to what I do. Everyone's got a song what's close to their hearts, and with a bit of camaraderie in the cups, they'll tell you what it is. Then I strum them their song over a heart to heart is all. Thanks to Gildealot, we were able to learn of the recent incidents. So I ask you, will you not have a little faith in us? I'm not certain I understand. Look, Norval, we made us stop here at your request, that we might gather information for our search. But not once did you tell us it is what it is we should look for. By now, we have more than a solid grasp of the region beyond. What should we do next? Oh my, did I neglect to tell you? My profoundest apologies. The tome we seek, it's said to rest in a place connected to Gilbarde, the general who led the Alamegan forces during the Autumn War. Now that you mention it, the masked bandits appeared on the way to the schism, and Gerbard was a known devotee of the fist of Ragar. Just taking a wild stab here, but might be as they're also after the tome. An unsettling notion. Should that be the case, we haven't any time to waste. I will go and make some inquiries immediately. Wait, I didn't give you permit? Leave him. There's something you two need to know. I got this from a soldier, but Norval's been sneaking outside the castrum while our backs are turned. Bastard's been acting right fishy since we got here, and he tensed up good when the subject of the masked bandits came up. Whatever his true motives may be, we must bring them to light. Rather than reel him in, let us give him some line to act. There is no telling what Norval will do next. While we keep watch, please see that you are ready to deal with anything. Nice. Look how little experience that is. Right. Whatever shenanigans Norville's up to, we're gonna find out. 65, okay. Okay. 10 minutes, not the end of the video. I'll see you in a sec. Hello. We're continuing the video. You can probably tell that it's been a while because of the increase in video quality, but yeah, here we go. We've continued our surveillance of Norval's activities. It's beyond a shadow of a doubt that he has an ulterior motive. In order to find the tome, it's past time we took our search to the field, but always he finds an excuse to stall. Whenever I suggest investigating this ruin or that, he inevitably claims we haven't enough information. It's plain he doesn't want us out there. Nay, Bassick wants all that outside goodness for himself, but try as we might, we haven't been able to find out where he sneaks off to. Warier than a bird, that one. Meanwhile, the masked bandits continue ambushing Alliance patrols, and they always know exactly where and when to strike. It's as though they have insider knowledge of patrol routes. The only explanation being there's a mole in the garrison linking them intelligence. And who could that mole be, save for Norval? Every move of his marks him as the prime suspect. We know little unless of Norval's plot, but it can only lead to ill. We must needs bring it to light, and swiftly, before he can do any more harm. To that end, Gildelot and I have been keeping Norval close, allowing him no chance to act. By now, he will be positively itching to rendezvous with his accomplices. And this is where you come in, yo. We need you to feed Norville some false information. That I am in an alliance meeting and Gildelot a drunken stupor. Our men will not pass up the chance to sneak out, and he'd like to do so with greater haste than usual. This will afford us an opening to shadow him to his destination. Drunken stupor, really. Not so flattering, I know, but you cannot deny that it's believable. Now then, yo, pray go to Norval and plant our misinformation. Once you have done so, come and meet us outside the castrum. Both of them are unavailable, and there I was ready to strike out on the trail of a promising lead. Well, disappointing as though it is, the search will have to wait. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some business to attend to. It worked, my friend. Norval rushed out of the castrum not a moment ago. He was headed east, toward a ruin called Gurren Kihim. Gildelot trails him even as we speak. Come, let us join the chase. What is he up to? $67, eh? Oh, if you're above the... Okay. It's been a while. It's good old-fashioned tears. Let us peek, shall we? We have it, my lord. Turned it up among the retainer's possessions. At long last, Gildy Bard's journal, and not a moment too soon. I just about outstayed my welcome at the garrison. When the adventurer caught us falling upon patrol, I had feared the game was up. But thankfully, the other two were blind fools at this time watching me, and they didn't see a thing all this time. We've only skimmed the tome, but it seems you were right about what happened to Lord von Chianlan. Was there any doubt? Once we return to Gridani and make this knowledge public, none shall harbor so much as a shred of sympathy for Alamigo. That shall pave the way for us to propagate Lord von Chianlan's will and advance our agenda. At last, we've uncovered Norval's purpose, and the tome is right before our eyes, no less. Commander Hulux spoke of a faction that vehemently opposed our aiding Alamigo. I dare say we have found them. But how did Norval come to such a crew? And what is this talk of Van Chianlan? What? The Gridanian general sung about him in high 100 songs? Wow. Who led our forces against Gilbarde in the Autumn War, only to die of an illness before the fighting was over? The very same. Having lost his leadership, we would have lost the war entirely had the other nations not come to our aid. Don't know about the rest of you, but it seems to me our damning little secret pertains to Van Chianlan. And Norval seeks to use it to stroke the fires of anti-Alamigan sentiment to some sinister end. This cannot be borne. We cannot let them have the journal. Are you with me? Perhaps you are not such blind fools after all. Very well. Take your journal. I take it, read it, know the vile crime the Alamegans committed against Lord Valchion, against my own blood, and see the folly of aiding such honorless people. What do you mean, your own blood? Did I mishear? Did he just say that Valchion was his ancestor? I just realized we're wearing the same clothes. Except I'm wearing red, at least. Glad I dyed it. Aye, that's what it sounded like. Valchion, the folk here loved by all, celebrated in countless songs, and that pain in the rears, his descendant, never would have guessed. Any road, we've got bigger concerns. Let's see what this musty old tome's hiding. To Valchion, I extended an invitation to negotiate peace. The meeting must be in secret, I explained, for not all my officers share my view. My opponent accepted and arrived at the appointed hour. Peace? Everybody knows they weren't no peace on offer. The hell's this about? Wait, it continues. Without suspicion, he took his seat, and without suspicion, he drank the poisoned wine. The effect was swift and sure, and within moments, the man lay dead at my feet. Wait, Valchion was murdered by poison? To this day, Lord Valchion remains an object of worship among many Gridanians. Were they to learn of this, it would pose a serious and ongoing impediment to diplomatic relations. There's no denying that some Alamegans did some terrible things in the past, but what's Norval trying to do ain't no better. Might be after the truth, but nothing good will come of this, and certainly not any decent songs. The truth, tell me, guilty lot. When we surrendered this journal to our superiors, what do you think they would do with the knowledge? The seed seers aside, I reckon the brass hats at the address nest would want to cover it up, bury it nice and deep, and pretend it never existed. Aye, nor would I put it past them to exploit the knowledge to gain leverage in dealings with Alamigo. But whatever they may do is none of our concern, is it? Duty compels us to hand the journal over to headquarters. You're the leader of our merry band, Sanson, and duty compels me to obey your orders, shite though they often are. You decide whether we hand over the journal or not. Guilty let would entrust the decision to me. But what of you, yo? We should all decide. No, forgive me, this unseemly display. Gildilot has the right of it. As the leader, mine is the burden of decision. At any rate, this ain't the place for moral dilemmas. Let's get ourselves back to the castrum in Norval and his mates afore Norval and his mates decide they want to have another go. Skillula has disappeared somewhere in the castrum, giving me room to ponder matters I shouldn't doubt. I've since read through Gildebraid's journal, and I'm afraid there's two ways about it. He summoned Bansheon under the pretense of peace and then slew him with poison. However, one mystery remains. It appears one of Bansheon's sons was present at the fateful meeting. Lendranel was his name, and he narrowly escaped with his life. But instead of crying bloody murder, he announced that his sire had died of illness. Here is a man who witnessed his own flesh and blood slain in the most underhanded manner, yet concealed the truth. Why did he do this? I do not understand. But it avails us not to agonize over the motives of those who lived in the past. Nay, our quandary concerns the future. For the future of both nations, the truth is best kept buried. No good can come of digging it up. 'Tis crystal clear what must be done. And yet, though my mind sees the logic, my heart rebels against the idea. Forgive me, yo. It seems I require more time to think on it. Okay. Well, I'll see you next episode. Or I'll see you in a second. This video's not over. Actually, I don't know how long the other parts are. Anyway, see you in a sec. Peace. Thank you for watching, regardless. Hello. Wasn't expecting to be able to make a 14 video, but there's this random guy who I did not see before. So let's see what he's about. Begging your pardons, madame, but you are an adventurer, are you not? I approach you on the options that you are acquainted with one of your distinguished fellows, a great hero by the name of Yosan. What? You are none other than the legendary Yosan, liberator of nations and scourge of the Empire? How kind the kami are to guide your steps this way. I have been tasked with finding you, you see, by the lady-in-waiting of Soi no Sato. My blue brethren and I are assisting the good folk there in a certain endeavor, but they have been experiencing some difficulties. In seeking to address said difficulties, the lady-in-waiting wishes to entreat your aid, if you should be willing. I ask that you come to Thomas Mizu, where the lady awaits. This might be a very short part of a video, I'm not sure. Wait a minute. Yo, I take it? Are you the hero? The heroic air? You have that heroic air about you. Jesus, reading. Yo, you came. Deep in my heart I knew you would, but I am no less glad for it. To spare you the confusion, it is I, Kurenai, as you will doubtless appreciate. 'Twould not be due for the Ruby Princess to be seen outside the palace, hence my current guise. What brings you to Tamazu? There is something that I wish to achieve, for which the Kojin's home is an ideal venue. As you well know, our people have long lived in isolation. I would change that. I would have us emerge into the outside world. How did I conceive this, you may wonder? 'Twas none other than our journey together, yo, that sowed the seeds in my heart. Such things as I beheld and experienced, even as they filled me with awe, they'd made me keenly aware of our own wants. In the past, Suno Sato engaged in limited trade with Doma, but that dedicated tie was severed with the Empire's violent rival. Nowadays, a handful of necessities from Tamazu is our sole link to the world beyond. But with the Imperial menace driven from the Ruby Sea, I thought what better time to venture out of our little bubble once more. However, 'tis far easier said than done. Princess or no, you can't just go and change things as you please. There are hard-headed types who will fight tooth and nail to keep things as they are. And you've got to win them over with a little help from this adventurer here. That's about the short of it, I have to say. It's nice to see an Enorzian face here and at the bottom of the brine. Well met, adventurer. I'm Sanana of the House of Splendors. Permit me to introduce Sanana. She came to be with us after her ship foundered and foundered in a storm. Our people chanced to find her clinging to float Sam and brought her to Sori no Sato. I'd be fish fodder if they didn't appear when they did, and so to repay the debt, I'm helping Kurenai with her goal of opening Sori no Sato to the world. Sanana's insights have been most enlightening. In seeking to usher in change, she recommends that we distribute among the citizens such articles from the surface as they will find useful in their daily lives. I had thought to make my case only with words, but indeed a practical item in the hand shall prove far more convincing than any argument I could concoct. For our people are made to know the benefits of trade firsthand. They shall be more willing to embrace change. With no rituals of import requiring the Ruby Princess presence in the near future, I came to Tamazu some while ago to commence our efforts. Alas, I regret to say we've yet to make any progress. Owing to the shipwreck, I've got no suitable wares on hand, and while the Kojin have been helpful, we're struggling to procure the kind of items needed to end Sori no Sato. That was when my thoughts turned to you, my friend. As a well-traveled adventurer, I believe that we could benefit from your aid. And to my surprise and delight, not only was Nana familiar with your name, she told me that you are possessed of skills that would indeed serve our cause. Aye, anyone that's got anything to do with the house knows Yo. She's one of the best contributors on our roster. Now, why don't we have ready wares? We did manage to salvage some materials to help you along. Naturally, we don't expect you to work for nothing. In the house fashion, there'll be scripts in it for your troubles. So, you will help, right? Look, I realize the house has a reputation, but we're not all ruthless, coin-hungry sorts. Not all the time, anyway. At the end of the day, we're just people. And like most people, we can be driven by altruism. And make no mistake, Sori no Sato needs help. Might be the place prides itself on self-sufficiency, but the reality is grimmer than it seems. Every day, folk here or there are pushed through the limits of survival, and some of them don't make it. So our intent to turn Sori no Sato on it's not our intent to turn Sori no Sato on its head. transformed into some bustling hub like Kagani. But through trade, lives can be improved, lives can be saved. You have our eternal gratitude. With the two of you standing with us, there is hope for our people. Well then, if it's decided, let's all get to work. Haste is of the essence, isn't that right? Indeed. This reason sees many of us struck down by a certain illness. We have not effective treatment, and each year it inevitably claims lives. I'm no healer. Judging by symptoms, lacks of nutrition's the problem. In which case, I might know something that can prevent it. A fortifying tonic traditionally brewed in Garabania. Yo, we would be grateful to you to begin if you could begin by supplying us with this Garabanian remedy. The people are depending on you. Okay, it's another delivery thing. Maybe one day I'll get into deliveries, but for now, I just enjoy unlocking them. See you in the next video, part